What is Monster Hunter now? It's like Pokemon Go, except instead of catching the monsters, you're killing them. It's a free-to-play mobile game from Capcom, developers of Monster Hunter, among other series, and Niantic, developers of Pokemon Go and other Go-type games. As you all know, I'm a pretty big deal, so you know they had to send me an early code for the game. And by early code, I mean it's the same version of the game that soft-launched in Canada and Hong Kong, I think. However, this video is not sponsored or approved by them. I can say whatever I want. I played every day for the past 5 weeks, almost exclusively while walking the dog for about an hour a day, so about 40 plus hours total, and reached Hunter rank 42. Because this game uses your real life location, I don't want some of you freaks to rain bolt me. For this video, I just so happen to have some important business to handle in the capital of America, Washington, D.C. Like Pokemon Go, you walk around Google Maps in real life, go to various points of interest to gather items, and instead of Pokestops, it's gathering spots that function the same, granting you items, and monsters spawn in and you fight them. Surprisingly, Pokestop locations aren't necessarily one-to-one with gathering spots. You can become the gym leader of the MLK Memorial, but you can't carve Maclite ore off the Abe Lincoln statue. There's a story mode where the Monster Hunter world and the real human world are fusing, which I think might also be the plot to that Monhun movie. I don't know, I didn't watch it, no one did. But you progress through the story to unlock more monsters to fight, then you use monster parts and gather junk to forge and upgrade weapons and armor. There's 3 terrain types, forest, swamp, and desert, with different monsters and resources, and they gradually rotate their locations each day. What do I like about the game? Good graphics, probably. I'm playing this on a Samsung Galaxy S20 regular version, which is a 3-year-old phone, and the game looked and ran mostly fine for me. Some of this footage might appear a little laggy since I was playing the game and running the screen recorder, but the game itself ran well at high graphical settings and 60 FPS. That being said, I don't play a lot of mobile games, so I don't have much to compare it to. The only mobile games I've been invested in were Words with Friends, Temple Run 2, Fire Emblem Heroes, which is my greatest shame, Pokemon Go for a couple of months, and today's sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. You already know what it is, baby! Raid has had a ton of updates over the years, so I brought in a real expert to break it down for us.
Professor Death Knight here with a lesson about Live Arena, the new PvP mode where you can fight against other players in real time. Sounds terrifying? Well, so's going to the dentist. You should still do it. Live Arena has a draft feature where you can pick and ban champions to fight for you. Teamwork. When you win matches, you'll get Live Arena crests towards unlocking special area bonuses, or so I hear. I'm too afraid to try any of this out. Alright class, any questions?
Yes, several. Professor, do you have any recommended fighting strategies for the Live Arena?
Well, everyone thinks I'll go in fighting, but nobody expects my charm. My best strength is the gift of gab. So when they try to attack, I'll just be like, nice weather we're having, eh?
Wow, Professor, you seem like someone who gets all the ladies. Can I pick you for the Live Arena?
Do not pick me for Live Arena. Seriously, don't. I'm too young to be bone meal.
Alright, Professor, but if I were to pick you, hypothetically, what would your intro music sound like?
It's gotta be upbeat, high tempo, like a song that really pumps up the jam. Or one that gets you jiggy with it. Sorry, you know I'm like 1,000 years old, right?
Oh, Professor Death Knight, you don't look a day over 900. I bet you get all the ladies. Thanks for all the advice.
I hope you use this knowledge you've gained here today about Live Arena to head off and do battle. Live! Make this whole Dead Bones Professor proud, folks. Class dismissed. Do we have a bell? Oh, we should totally get a bell.
For new players, you can get your hands on Stag Knight, one of the best epic champions around, as well as an exclusive new skin that'll help you get all the ladies. Just use the promo code JTSKIN before October 7th. It's as easy as that. Don't worry if you're not a new player, you can still get Stag Knight and the skin through an in-game event. Everybody likes free stuff, right? Especially when the free stuff in question is legendary champion Sun Wukong, Ray's take on the Monkey King from Chinese mythology. Now he's someone who gets all the ladies. Just log in on 7 different days between now and October 23rd to become the king of the monkeys and score this legendary champion for free. And if you haven't started playing Raid yet, use my link in the description or scan my QR code to get real cool bonuses like Epic Champion Talia from the Sacred Order faction and other useful things like energy refills, skill tomes, and experience boosters. So just use my link in the description and I'll see you on the battlefield. What else do I like about it? It did a pretty good job of translating Monster Hunter gameplay mechanics to mobile phones, given the limitations inherent to the medium. These hunts are quick, they take less than 75 seconds, which makes sense given that you're playing this game while walking around. Console Mon Hunt is played with 3 different attack buttons, plus dodge, plus movement, plus items. On a phone, you can tap to attack, hold for a different attack, swipe to dodge. This game even has adept dodges from Generations with perfect timing, and special button to special where you get invincibility during it. The hunting gameplay feels a little less like Monster Hunter and a little more like Punch-Out or maybe Infinity Blade. If y'all remember that game, you deserve a veterans discount. However, each weapon does a pretty good job of capturing the feel of each weapon from the console games. As opposed to the usual 14 we've gotten used to, there's only 6 weapons currently in this game. Sword and shield, greatsword, longsword, hammer, bow, and light bow gun. I would not be surprised if they added more in the future. If they really wanted to be a cool guy, they could add switch axe. I could see it working. You know, tap the screen for axe mode to charge your meter, hold the button to switch to sword mode, hit the special button for elemental discharge. That's all I'm saying. If they really want to make the game a 10 out of 10, they could add switch axe. Other weapons like lance and gun lance could work with these simple controls, but definitely not weapons like charge blade and insect glaive. Probably too complicated for tappy swipe. Each Monster Hunter game I play, I try to focus on a new weapon, and for this one, since I've only used it a few times before, I decided to primarily use greatsword. It can be a tough weapon given its inflexibility, but it's also a raw test of the game's core mechanics: positioning and anticipation, reading the monster's movements, high risk, high reward. But in Monster Hunter now, I can't really play it how I would in the other games, since I can't really position myself in the place of where a monster will be after an attack, given that you only move around by rolling. So instead, I use the little attacks to charge up the special meter, then use a true charge slash to chop off half the monster's health bar. However, I gradually realized that greatsword, is not very good in this game, so I gradually switched back to the other weapons, primarily sword and shield. You can hunt in either portrait or landscape. When playing this game with one hand because I had doggy in the other, it was a pretty intuitive experience playing in portrait. A good balance between can play while walking and being aware of my surroundings and stopping the dog from eating crap off the ground, and I actually have to play the game to win. However, a phone in portrait mode doesn't lend itself well to this 16:9 aspect ratio video you're watching right now, but when you're in landscape, you manually aim your weapon by tilting your entire phone, so sorry in advance for any motion sickness. If you've played Monster Hunter, specifically Monster Hunter World, then you'll recognize all the monsters' attacks. They've been faithfully transitioned over. Breaking parts, staggering, and stunning monsters to interrupt their attack patterns also return to this game. Monsters glow bright red before they attack, which does help when there's a ton of glare on your phone screen for being outside, you know? And of course, the game has the core gameplay loop of hunt monster, then craft weapon and armor. Armor pieces have different skills, and you can continually level them up. The character creator really sucks ass though. God, my character is so fucking ugly. Which brings me to, what do I dislike about this game? So the first 2 weeks, I'm killing the monsters, I'm unlocking the other weapons, going to the main story, I'm feeling good. They're waiting to get you hooked. But as the monsters got stronger and stronger, I encountered the true final boss of Monster Hunter now. The timer. You have 1 minute 15 seconds to kill every monster. For the first couple of weeks, this was not an issue at all, but the health and damage of the monsters scales way faster than your average weapon strength, and I'm having trouble to simply do enough damage in such a short amount of time. The only times I failed quests weren't because I ran out of potions, it was because I ran out of time. You have to be playing absolutely perfectly and exploiting elemental weaknesses, and even then, it's down to the last 5 seconds every time. Sounds like a skill issue, and yeah, it is. I'll fully admit that I'm not an expert at Monster Hunter, but in the console games, I can beat every quest no problem. In the past, you could always play mediocrely, get hit a couple times, and still make progress. However, in this mobile game, I got stuck on a Paolumu fight in the main story for several days. For those unfamiliar, Paolumu is an absolute chump-ass bitch, and I couldn't do enough damage in 75 seconds to fucking Paolumu. In console Monster Hunter, I can hunt at my own pace. A hunt takes what, 10-15 minutes? And the game gives you 50. The very rare time when the timer is a factor is during the optional challenge quests that are optional. But in this casual walk around mobile game, it's just like, attack, 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 be aggressive, kill that monster, shake him, get his ass! Be sure to pay attention to your surroundings while playing. Send that monster to hell! You didn't roll for the roar? You're wasting too much time! Oh, you got hit once? Give up. Not because one attack did 2/3 of your health bar, but because you you lost too much time getting back up, it's not even worth it. This is not what Monster Hunter is. It's such a simple fix too. Change this system so that if you reach 75 seconds, you can still finish the quest, but you get less rewards, instead of what actually happens where you get nothing and it's a complete waste of your time. To the game's credit, you can retry the fight if you're standing in the same spot, but if you get hit once, well, there goes most, if not all of your health bar, so you respawn at 1 health and the game only gives you 5 first aid med per day that only heal you for half and then charges you real world money for more potions, and I think I see what's going on here. Now at this point, you may be thinking, if you can't do enough damage, then simply upgrade your weapon, forehead. And I'd love to, but get ready to slap on your soap shoes because this game is a grind. And look, Mon Hunt has always been a grind. In G rank, but not like this. Not like this! The amount of stuff you need to upgrade your stuff is ridiculous! You need 24 sharp claws to upgrade your sword. How do you get 24 sharp claws? By fighting 24 little dudes. Every time you see one of them lizard doggies, you need to kill it every single time. I have fought more little guys in the past month of playing this game than I have in my past 8 years of playing Monster Hunter combined. Now to the game's credit, as I'm writing this right now, the game was just updated to increase the drop rate. Now you get 2 or 3 sharp claws a little bit more often, but I tested it out and you're still gonna be piling up the lizard bodies. If 80% of the combat is spent fighting small monsters who barely even fight back, is killing the small monsters the most fun part of the game. You need 9 Barroth tails to upgrade your sword 1/5 of 1 level. Do you know how hard it is to cut the tail off the monster when the monster is almost always facing you, and when the clock is ticking down and you can only move by rolling? And sometimes you go through the effort of chopping the tail off only to not get the tail at all. If you break the tail, you should get the tail! Hello? You spend a lot of time doing that, fighting the monster you need only to not get the parts you need. So you'll spend days and weeks not able to upgrade your stuff at all. You have no idea how much time it took to forge one decent weapon of every type for this video. And when you do finally get the parts you need, the little prompt comes up every time saying you can buy gems with real world money to double your rewards. And I think I see what's going on here. Maybe this is more balanced for multiplayer. You can team up with nearby people and you'll probably have more fun if you can walk around with a friend and play. But for the trial period, they only sent me the 1 code. And even then, I don't think I could convince any of my 40-year-old neighbors to play this game with me. Actually, I did randomly find one other person playing this game right after it officially launched, so we teamed up and it was pretty laggy, not gonna lie, but more fun than solo. Remember paintballs? Well, if you've only played these games, then no you don't. But in Mon Hunt now, while you're walking around, you can mark a monster with a paintball and fight them later at a more convenient time. This is such a great mechanic. So of course the only way to get paintballs is through buying them in the shop. I think I got like 1 free paintball every 2 weeks. But there are also Palico paintballs where your cat marks 3 monsters a day, but you don't get to pick which ones. And you need Adventure Sync turned on, which tracks your location even when the app isn't running? What? Why not have the option to base this off of step count? Every phone has a pedometer in it. They make upgrade materials a pain to get, but pay extra money to get more. They make monsters damage you for your entire health bar, but pay extra money to get more potions. They introduce paintballs as an extremely convenient mechanic, but you only get them through paying extra money. Obviously, a free-to-play game has to make money somehow, but when it's done to the detriment of the game design, that's when I'm out. To be fair, I did not spend a dime on this game, but you do have to go into the item shop to get your free daily first aid med, and I don't know, everything looks a little pricey. You could buy a few dozen paintballs, or you could buy all of Monster Hunter World plus Iceborne. And the big reason I stopped playing Pokemon Go was because I was spending so much time on inventory management, which wasn't fun. In Monster Hunter Now, I did not spend any time on inventory management, which is good, but I see those paid item box expansions staring me in the face, and I know it's coming. There are currently 13 large monsters, which does not sound like a lot, and it's not, but it feels like a lot when you have to go out and search for a specific monster, but all you see are Pookies, as opposed to just picking from a menu. And it's the roster to base Monster Hunter World, just an absolute circus parade of clowns. I can reach the summit of Mount Kilimanjaro by making a ladder out of all my great jackass corpses. They did say in an interview that they wanted to add every monster ever, and I sincerely sincerely wish them the best of luck with that. The team behind the game seems committed to updating the game. There was an invitation for a Zoom call that I could not attend because it was in the middle of the workday, but it sounds like they listened to a lot of feedback from other players, like with the Sharp Claw buff. And the game was updated a couple times during this soft launch period. The most noticeable changes were making the in-game store a little bit more flashy. Each time the game got updated, it ran a little bit slower, with monsters not always disappearing after you kill them. A few times I get a glitch that says, "You're driving, stop driving, don't play this game and drive," even though I'm at home and my phone is propped up on a table and not moving at all. But then I'll literally be driving in my car and getting notifications from my Palico saying, "I've gathered items, I've marked the monster, your Palico bag is full." So which is it? Did I enjoy the game? Quick list of improvements and new features that I think would be cool and good. The timer. Let me keep hunting after the timer expires. If I cut the tail off, give me the tail. Decrease the number of tails you need to upgrade. Like, come on, 12 tails beat for real right now. Give out a few gems for free each day. Most mobile games will give you a small amount of the paid currency for free. I'm not sure why this one doesn't, or at least it hasn't for me. Maybe there's something I'd missed. I think I saw something about this in the news section at one point, but Palico. All it does currently is gather items. Maybe it could fight alongside you in some way, like in the actual game. Maybe some customization with different outfits, and other hunting items like traps, flash bombs, barrel bombs. Crafting. I've collected hundreds of plants and they barely have any function. Maybe you could craft those into hunting items, or decorations to equip on your armor for extra abilities, or demon drug for a one hunt attack boost or something. Friend features like those gifts that dox your location and stuff. The friend list was added a few days before global launch, so we'll see. Group raids or something similar that Pokemon Go has. I mean, shit, you're Niantic, you know this stuff better than me. Who is the game for? Japan. It's for Japan. And not just because of the higher average population density. Monster Hunter has been gaining popularity in the West with games like World and Rise, but it's pretty much always been mega popular in Japan. You'll probably enjoy this game if you liked Pokemon Go but don't play it anymore, and also already like Monster Hunter. But people who liked Pokemon Go, just play flippin' Pokemon Go! It's a similar situation with farming games, right? All these farm sim games coming out, people just play one, probably Stardew. All these cozy Animal Crossing clones coming out, people just play Animal Crossing. They don't have the time to invest in two similar genre games that demand attention every day. A new walking around game comes out, people already played Pokemon Go 7 years ago. But that's just my opinion, alright? It's a free to play game, so I recommend trying it out for yourself if it looks interesting. And here's my referral code that I think will get you extra items. Please do not add me as a friend because I will not accept. I hope y'all get more long-lasting enjoyment out of it than I did, because again, the first 2 weeks were pretty fun, but as the game's BS started cropping up, I gradually enjoyed it less and less. I made it to what I believe is the final chapter of the main story, where the final boss is, surprise surprise, Rathalos, but I need to fight 2 more Legiana to progress, and the game did a funny, and for the past 2 weeks, not a single Legiana has spawned in my area. Actually, a few did spawn on the other side of the highway that I cannot access, but one finally did spawn, and I fought it and got one hit KO'd and lost. And I was out of potions to retry, and you know what? I think I'm done with Monster Hunter now. Maybe I'll come back to it Monster Hunter later. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, then you may also enjoy my previous video on save data bonuses in video games. If you've tried Monster Hunter now, let me know what you think of it down below, and today's comment code word is satellite. Comment satellite if you made it all the way through the video, and that's it, video's over.